Over 50 days after actor Menglong's passing, the truth hasn't faded. If anything, it has intensified. Veteran paparazzo Goseki conducted a nighttime probe at the scene and captured eerie moments of a doorbell chiming and a dog sniffing a blood-stained spot. 3 Beijing companies changed their legal representatives on the same day, and the name Guofang collectively disappeared. The 798 art district was suddenly sealed, its founder investigated, and an art museum was suspected of being a living people altar. Overseas mediums, lawyers, and the Tuodang Center have all taken action. This isn't entertainment gossip, but an awakening among global Chinese who refuse to be silenced. Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and hit the bell. The most frightening thing in this world isn't darkness, it's when someone strives to light a lamp and that light is brutally snuffed out. Over 50 days after the death of actor Menglong, his name still sends a shiver through the hearts of Chinese people, indeed, Chinese worldwide. What should have been closed as a drunken accident has now become a mystery that only deepens the more it's probed. In recent days, veteran paparazzo Goseki conducted a nighttime on-site probe in Beijing, capturing eerie moments of a doorbell chiming and a dog sniffing a blood-stained spot. 3 Beijing companies connected to the case simultaneously changed legal representatives, with the original legal reps mysteriously disappearing. The 798 art district was abruptly sealed. Its founder had been taken away years earlier. An exhibition there is suspected of being a living people altar. Overseas mediums, lawyers, netizens, and even the Tuodang Center have all moved. This isn't entertainment gossip, it's a war of refusing to forget. They thought the truth could be deleted, but unexpectedly, the more they delete, the brighter the light becomes. The eeriest at the scene, a night probe plus a dog sniffing the floor plus an empty corridor after a doorbell. The latest updates come from the scene in Beijing. Taiwan's very famous veteran paparazzo, Goseki, has been in Beijing these past few days. On the night of November 2nd, he did something very bold. He personally went to the residential compound where you fell. According to GE's own post, he described the situation at the time. The compound was very quiet, and the courtyard sightline was very dim. He walked to the scene, the window. He said he was about 80% certain of the answer, in his heart. He didn't spell out what answer, but we can probably guess. Then the eerie things began to happen. Gus said that while he was sitting at the scene sensing, a dog suddenly passed in front of him, and then the dog went straight to sniff that patch of floor. Do you think this is a coincidence? It said animal senses are very keen. What did the dog smell, to make it choose that spot, of all places? You think that's the end of it? What came after was even stranger. After surveying the scene, Go booked a nearby hotel and stayed the night. After showering, he lay on the bed and was on the phone reporting he was safe. At that moment, he and the person on the other end simultaneously heard a very clear doorbell. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be? He mustered his courage and opened the door, but both sides of the corridor were empty. In his post, Go finally wrote, "I believe I am very safe in Beijing." The sentence sounded more like he was bolstering his own courage, and also like he was sending a message across the air. GE's nighttime probe added yet another layer of the supernatural and the mysterious to an already doubt-riddled case. Whether that doorbell was real or not, whether he was too nervous, or whether there really was something sending a message, it all points to one thing: the place isn't clean. The most unusual in the business realm, 3 companies changed legal reps on the same day. If the previous update carries a mystical tone, then this next bit of fresh news is a cold, uncanny shift from the business world. Very meticulous netizens checked corporate registry records and found a stunning coincidence. In early November, 3 Beijing companies simultaneously, note, simultaneously, changed their legal representatives. These 3 companies are Qihue Xingye, Beijing, Company, Ltd. Beijing Huadu Hotel Company, Ltd. Beijing Hangang Real Estate Development Company, Ltd. The legal representative of all 3 companies used to be a person named Guofang. Now, all have been synchronously changed to a person named Qi Ning. Why does this relate to the U case? Because the Qihue Art Museum controlled by Qihue Xingye is alleged to be one of the crime scenes in the U case. Many of the so-called artworks exhibited there are extremely bizarre and unsettling. Netizens had long labeled them altars, real specimens, and things with a criminal background. At this sensitive moment, 3 linked companies made such a neat, uniform switch of legal reps, swapping all Guofangs for Qi Nings. What kind of operation is this? Netizens largely suspect this is cutting ties, making a key person disappear. Who is this Guofang? What is her connection to this incident? We don't know. But at this critical juncture, such a snakeskin-shedding corporate maneuver can only make people feel they're covering something up. If anyone understands the inside story, feel free to add information in the comments. Who exactly are Guofang and Qi Ning? 798 sealed plus the founder investigated equals not an isolated incident. The Qihui Art Museum is located in Beijing's 798 Art District. Around November 2, netizens discovered that the 798 Art District was sealed. The entire park was closed to entry, for unknown reasons. Even more peculiar is that the earliest founder of the 798 Art District, Wang Yanling, had already been taken away for investigation by the Beijing Discipline Inspection and Supervision Commission in April 2021. The announcement at the time was for serious violations of discipline and law, but it did not specify what exactly. Since then, this person has vanished. Why would the founder of an art district be taken away by the discipline inspectors? Some influencers have analyzed that art exhibitions are often connected to money laundering, behind-the-scenes deals, and even more serious criminal activities. Meanwhile, Wang also ran the Qixing Group, 7 stars, a name with implications. In Taoism, 7 stars correspond to the 7 pa, animal souls, within the 3 hun and 7 pu of the human spirit, which govern life and death. This brings us to the mystical claims circulating online. Some fortune tellers have said you had the little emperor fate, and some netizens, comparing portraits, even suspect he might have had blood ties to the Ming dynasty's imperial Zhou family. This theory holds that he was harmed because the powerful selected him for a certain ritual, aiming to seize his fortune and energy to lengthen their own lives. An American medium with over 100,000 followers, Candace Starr, shared what she saw. She said you was chosen by heaven, and that his passing would awaken many people. She said that before his death, you was taken to a party, where they gave him a drink with something in it, and then locked him up. Most frighteningly, Candace said she saw human ligaments and human body parts. Yu's spirit told her those were real people. They called these acts art, their masterpieces. They forced others to participate in this so-called art making. You consistently resisted and did not participate. Here, participation likely means you was forced to become the so-called artwork. You mentioned that many people in his industry have encountered similar events. His death was a warning from those people to the circle: don't resist, don't expose, don't speak. Netizens suspect that the 798 Art District could very well be where they process these so-called artworks. After the Yu incident, there was another bizarre exhibition inside 798, presenting a series of paintings about catching fish, ornamental fish, and finally killing the fish. Candace also mentioned a key detail: before he died, Yu was repeatedly thrown around, resulting in internal bleeding, and very severe at that. A lawyer calls it out: you are destroying evidence. The Yu case is riddled with doubts, and the authorities' drunken accident narrative simply doesn't convince the public. Lawyer Zhua, now overseas, has publicly denounced the CCP's political fraud, and his words are very sharp. Regarding the Yu case, he raised several of the most basic and fatal questions. Where is the surveillance footage? China is full of surveillance cameras. Why is it that, on that very night, at that compound, in that area, the cameras were, just so happened, to be broken? Where are the people who dined with him? Why has no one from the group that had dinner with you that night dared to step forward to face public questions and scrutiny? Who are they? What are they afraid of? Lawyers were asked, when every key piece of core evidence in a case is deliberately destroyed and covered up by the investigative authorities, do you think there might be a problem with the case? Each of these questions is common sense. When all common sense is broken, the only answer is, they are lying. They truly miscalculated. This time it's not fans, it's bystanders. A Chinese actor, Zhang Lin, posted 2 Weibo messages at the end of October speaking up for you, sharp and to the point, and he soon faced threats. What did he say? First, he revealed Yu's financial situation. He said that while Yu's nominal pay was 2 small targets, i.e., 200 million yuan, in reality he received only just over 20 million. Where did those 20+ million go? Zhang said, some of it was in disaster areas, in the hands of compatriots who needed it more. In recent years, you donated 2.5 million yuan to children with autism and 500,000 yuan to the Zhengzhou floods. As for himself? Apart from buying a home for his mother in Xinjiang, he always rented a small place in Beijing. His clothes usually cost 70 to 100-something yuan, and he rarely ate meat. People lamented, this is a person so kind as to be almost an immortal among ordinary folk. This also explains why a star, after the authorities had already closed the case, could still draw the fury of bystanders around the world. In his second post, Zhang's words hit even harder. He said those people, the ones who harmed him, had calculated that Yu's fans would only cry and could not form a force. That's why, in the early days, they were so brazen and did many strange things. They thought the matter would be smothered in as little as 3 days or as long as a week. But they were completely wrong. Zhang said, they completely sized up Yu's fan base, but they completely misjudged his public favor. Because those speaking up for Yu in overwhelming numbers were all bystanders, people who didn't know him, everywhere. And the main body of these bystanders spans those born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts. These people are not only today's societal backbone, they also have the ability to distinguish right from wrong and possess mature, well-formed values. Friends, this is extremely important. This explains why, nearly 2 months on, the heat has not decreased but increased. Because this is no longer fans mourning, it's a nationwide declaration of war on darkness. Inside China blocked, overseas compensates, 640,000 signatures plus Tuodang Center makes an exception. Domestically, the information blockade remains very tight. Some netizens say that even posting content about mailing complaint letters is judged as a violation. Many accounts have been muted again. But people have not given up. One netizen posted photos showing he bought 100 envelopes, preparing to mail them to the NPC, state security, petition bureaus, and other departments. He said, you have power, you have money, you set the rules, and still you're not satisfied. Such a good person ended up with such a tragic fate. We're not even allowed to say one word in his defense. Write letters, make calls, lodge reports, whether it works or not, we'll still do it. He also said, if the door that ought to be open cannot be opened by knocking, I'll smash my head and die on the doorstep. In Taiwan, fans composed a song for you, titled, Do You Know? The lyrics say, do you know? The whole world is striving, every beam of light is our prayer and blessing. We believe light will illuminate the dark times. This is the meaning of why we're still discussing this today. They have power and money, they can delete posts, ban accounts, and manufacture one lie after another. But they cannot seal every person's heart. Just as actor Zhang Lin said, they miscalculated the public favor. We, each of us watching this video and seeking the truth, are that bystander they miscalculated. At present, the global petition seeking justice for you has surpassed 640,000 signatures. If you haven't signed, please go sign your name. This isn't only for a deceased actor, it's for ourselves, for a world in which justice can still be done. They think we are in the dark, but as long as each of us shines a little light, we are the dawn that pierces the night. On October 31st, the New York-based Global Service Center for Quitting the Chinese Communist Party issued a public statement. Those familiar with overseas Chinese circles may know about San Tui, quitting the CCP, the Youth League, and the Young Pioneers. Normally, this requires a personal declaration. But this time, the Tuodang Center stated they made a special exception, officially processing the 3 withdrawals for the deceased actor Yu Menglong. You heard that right, an exception. Why the exception? According to their statement, since the Yu incident, the Tuodang website has received 82 statements submitted by mainland Chinese netizens declaring San Tui on Yu's behalf. These fans and netizens left messages like, he was kind in life, but was harmed by the CCP's powerful, I quit the evil party on his behalf, in a dream he told me he wanted freedom, I help him quit, hoping his soul regains light. The Tuodang Center said that although this doesn't meet the principle of must be requested by family or someone acquainted, due to the sheer number of requests, they decided, on humanitarian, moral, and faith-based grounds, to make an exception. There is one sentence in the statement that I think is the finishing touch. This act is not only a redemption, freeing a departed soul from bondage, it is also a testimony to the conscience of the many Chinese friends who seek truth and light. Friends, the significance of this is extraordinary. It shows that Yu's passing has far surpassed an item of entertainment gossip. It has evolved into a serious public event, an event of collapsing trust in the authorities' credibility. When people no longer believe the official story, when they believe a kind person was harmed by the powerful, they will resist in their own ways. Processing, San Tui, for Yu is both an act of mourning and the strongest political statement. It shows that the authorities' drunken accident narrative has completely failed. Thank you for watching today's program. If you have new leads regarding the Yu Menglong incident, or anything you'd like to say, please leave a comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. We need to let more people know that in this battle over memory, we have not lost, and we will not stop.